Hello, good afternoon. So I'm really excited to be here because today's topic, building at the intersection of Web3 and AI, very amazing topic, and I'm really honored to be with this wonderful panels. So let's start with introducing each other. So start with Julian. Could you start with your introduction?
So my name is Julian Butulu. I'm the founder of Stake Capital Group. We invest in the space, and we also build and incubate a bunch of different projects.
My name is Olga Feldmeier. I'm co-founder of several companies. Elon AI is my current topic of focus, and it's decentralized AI infrastructure.
I'm Matt Stevenson. I'm an economist by training, and I'm the head of research at Pantera Capital.
Matt, could you please mic more nearly because...
Should we try it again?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'm Matt Stevenson. I'm an economist by training, and I'm the head of research at Pantera Capital.
And my name's Dr. James Tremans. My background's actually in AI, but I currently lead Google's Web3 efforts from cloud.
Okay, great. We only have 20 minutes, so just go straight to the point. So before we go to the intersection between Web3 and AI, the Web3 and crypto AI, this is very hottest keyword for the last 10 years, I think. So I just wonder, what key value do you primarily focus on for these keywords, Web3 and AI? So why it is important for you and these words? How about starting James?
Sure. Well, I think AI has been knocking around for a long time, and then we've seen a lot of technical progress recently that's going to affect society in some very deep and broad ways. And of course, Google is an AI-first company for a long time, has been making ongoing investments in that space. And we externalize those investments through Google Cloud, so any business can take part in this renaissance and revolution. And then in much the same way, I think Web3 has a similar amount of innovation that's happened over the past 10 years, obviously a lot since 2016, but it also has a lot of promise for how it can improve and impact societies as well, both from the outside in, thinking about banking the unbanked and so forth, as well as improving existing capital markets processes by working from the inside out. And so it's very interesting to naturally think about the intersection of these two things. And as we will no doubt discuss, it's AI for Web3, or is it Web3 for AI, or is it both?
Cool.
Definitely. Yeah, I would say, obviously, there's some similarities between AI and Web3. I think we took the sort of winter thing from AI, right? Like there were AI winters for a long time that sort of described these downturns, and we borrow that in crypto winters. So there's something similarity, or sort of similar about the two areas. But I think in particular, like with the emergence of, obviously, the transformer, which we're familiar with for reasons not unrelated to the conference, and obviously the excitement around GPT, there's just some interesting areas where it makes sense for Web3 to help AI and for AI to help Web3. And I think both of those are actually really exciting. Particularly excited about the latter. I actually think crypto has a lot to offer to AI, maybe some technical sort of ways. We'll see if we can cover those without everybody falling asleep. But yeah, maybe we'll talk about it later.
Cool. How about Olga?
Yeah, so I think it's match made in heaven. Because everything that we have built in 10 years in crypto matches very nicely the demands of AI projects and models. Obvious examples, we have decentralized computing, decentralized storage, encryption, segregated learning. With all of those concepts, we are able to build even a better decentralized AI, right? So this is really amazing intersection.
Cool.
Well, yeah, as mentioned, I think AI is a powerful tool, but for now, there are a lot of different aspects of AI that can be really dangerous, such as data security and all different things. And in the blockchain space, it's the same. You have a bunch of different activity, and you don't really know how to filter that type of activity. So AI could actually help. So AI in blockchain could be a really good fit for providing and enhancing security across the two different worlds.
Cool. So we have a very common thesis for these three keywords. So if I had to categorize in two parts with building the intersection of the Web3 and AI, The first one will be blockchain enhanced AI, and second will be AI enhancing the blockchain. So I just want to start with Julian that how could blockchain help AI ecosystem? Because you already had founded the AI and blockchain company before. So could you share your experience?
So long time ago in the DeFi space, of course, always before DeFi came up, I was building a project that was analyzing data from space. So using machine learning model that could extract value from real-world assets, for example, the live production of coffee in Brazil, and then sell that data to hedge funds so they could place bet on the market knowing in 2 years or 1 year the production of coffee will be better in Brazil or Venezuela or whatsoever. So the point is the way you can, so it's blockchain helping AI or AI helping blockchain?
Blockchain helping AI.
Yes. So blockchain could really, I think the biggest goal of blockchain in AI, because AI is the data securitizations. We are using a lot of data to train AI, but we don't really give back the value of that data back to institutions or people that are generating this value. So I think blockchain could unlock a lot of value for the data aggregation to teach, train, or enhance the AI capability. So it's really about giving back the value of that data back to people using blockchain to train the next generation of AI. Because if you look at all the AI systems in the world that have been built in this, I don't think any value back to people was actually distributed.
Yeah, I think it could be related with federated learning or IoT stuff, I think, right? Yeah. How about Olga? Do you have any idea for this one? Blockchain enhancing the AI?
Well, if you look at what's happening like in AI outside of crypto, right? Like, you know, we need to catch up, right? Like you see all of those, you know, general purpose LLMs having been built, millions of people are using them, but even, you know, specialized models, right, are being built. Like, for example, Bloomberg GPT, right, with 7 billion tokens, 50 billion parameters, right? And it works. It's amazing. It's proprietary data. There are a lot of specialized models already, you know, for e-commerce, for you know, different industries, but nothing yet in crypto, right? So we really need to catch up, and this is what we are currently focusing on.
Okay. How about Matt?
Well, so I mentioned this is the area I'm especially excited about, and if anybody is interested in the like technical stuff and you're at the big AI conference next month in New Orleans called NeurIPS, come check out my talk. We got a paper accepted there on how crypto helps AI. So the sort of long and short of it, I mentioned I'm an economist, so I'm going to try to not be too like game theoretical in the answer. But essentially what it amounts to is that there's certain assumptions that get made in the development of AI, such that when you turn them loose and try to do cooperative AI, where one AI is interacting with another, there's just sort of like classic game theoretic exploits that aren't really well handled in the AI literature because you just didn't have to, right? You sort of controlled these things. When you start to turn them loose, it looks closer to a concept like MEV, right? So maybe many of us are familiar with that, right? Like the galaxy brain take on MEV is that it maps onto these sort of like unintended consequences, and that's sort of what it's going to look like if you use the, let's say, naive external regret minimization reinforcement learning in crypto or in AI, and you assume they're going to cooperate along those dimensions.
Cool.
I think that's a really interesting point. So I think at the kind of higher up the stack when you have interacting agents and they might have a you want to drive economic incentive for how those agents behave with respect to one another. I think crypto can help facilitate that for sure. But I also like this idea that if you want to combine Web3 and AI such that imagine you have a wallet, imagine in your wallet you have your credentials and your data. Those are digitally signed documents by your bank, your company of employment, your mortgage provider, whoever. And you could ask an LLM to go and get you a new mortgage or a new insurance or a new whatever. And because your data is local and maybe this LLM's been optimized to run on your device, no data's left anyway, it hasn't gone, and it can go and negotiate on your behalf to get you the best mortgage rates in like a reverse auction mechanism or something. They bid back into you, and before you know it, the LLM has presented to you a set of 3 choices, and you're in the loop and can make that decision. And so there's a little bit of AI for Web3 and Web3 for AI, because you could also imagine provenance. You could imagine multi-party computation, where maybe there are external companies need to work together on something. It gets interesting very quickly, but of course, there's a bunch of stuff that needs to happen before we get to that, especially around identity.
Also, Julian more focused on data collection and data process level, and 3 of us are more focusing on interface level, I think. So I want to start with this question with Olga, that how AI enhancing the Web3 ecosystem, because you recently pivoting your items to AI, so how could we support the blockchain system with AI?
Yeah, I think, guys, like we probably all agree that one of the biggest hurdles to mass adoption is UX, right? DeFi is very complex, very difficult to use, right? If you're not in the space, like dealing with your keys and sending to the right addresses and bridges and all of this, right? It's a complexity normal consumer investing in tech stuff cannot, cannot deal with. So we said, okay, how about, we can create an, meta layer for transaction where you as a user don't need to like trade and push, buy and sell. You can just talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can talk, you can say, okay, find me the best bridge and find me the best yielding pool and send my, ETH from Kraken through my, MetaMask to best yielding pools, right? You just say that and the magic happens. So this is what we're building. And I think this is where we can, change like, how difficult it is for people, well, making it easy for people to invest in DeFi and be part of our ecosystem.
So do you enjoy the Sam Altman's recent video, the GPTs? Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, awesome. It's actually, you see, it's kind of like they're doing similar things. It's just different specialization, right? Whereas ChatGPT and OpenAI, it's like massive general purpose models, right? We take these models, we tune them for the purpose of crypto, right? And it's, guys, it's all about data, right? So you need to input a lot of good, high quality, industry-specific data. We have all the analytics, on-chain data, and we have it all for free, right? We are not like, traditional finance where you have to pay for all the data, right? So this is amazing. And on one side, we need to build the infrastructure, so those fine-tuned, specialized LLMs, large language models, right? On the top of which, we can then build the applications for users, right? And our power in crypto community is that we can do it together. To train a good specialized LLM models, you need hundreds of millions. It's so expensive, GPU is expensive, data is expensive, everything. Like as a startup, you cannot do this, right? But in crypto, we have decentralization. We can submit the data jointly. We can train the models, even fundraising, right? Like our ecosystem just is capable of combining and creating value in this decentralized way. And this is why we're gonna win.
Okay, cool. I think we have not much time, so I think many AI enhanced blockchain will be mentioned by next panels or something. I want to jump up to what is the hurdle for the AI and Web3's intersection. So in here, there are many overhyped keywords in here. Like in my case, I think like prevention, the deepfake is very hyped keywords for me because it couldn't be solved as a blockchain. So what kinds of things are overhyped this area? How about Matt? Do you have any idea of this?
What things are overhyped in Web3, AI, or both, would you say?
Yeah, like intersection.
At the intersection of Web3 and AI, it's a good question. I mean, I think there are things. So we mentioned some of the like data models earlier. I wouldn't say it's overhyped, right? But like data marketplaces are very difficult to implement. So that's not one of those that I would say is not going to work. Like I think it will work. It's just one of those where if somebody gives me the job to design the incentives, I'm like, oh no, please do it to somebody else. It's very hard, right? But it's obviously in some ways like one of the biggest problems. And ZK proofs help to a decent degree, like proof of compute sort of stuff, right? But like the data market stuff is just a sort of like classically hard problem, right? Because you have this issue where if I sell you my data, you're instantly a competitor with me. where now you can sell the same data to somebody else, right? So a marginal cost of this stuff approaches zero very quickly. Just difficult to design markets around. So I would say that's the one that's the toughest nut to crack right offhand that we sort of talked about.
Cool.
Yeah.
Julian, do you have any idea of this? Like technical hurdles in this area?
What the problems of blockchain and AI together?
Yeah.
Well, I think the major problem is making sure the AI is not trying to produce its own data, and then blockchain will consume the data, but the data will be completely polluted. And then I think this is people building machine learning and AI are actually scared of is when you open an open economy where agents can get paid to do things. At the end of the day, they're also producing the type of data. So at which point this data is being produced by machines and not humans, and then maybe you can downsize in quality of next machine learnings in the next models, because this data is not actually accurate or really good data. So there could be a point where the model, and this was explained by ChatGPT founder Sam, where maybe the model that we have created is the best model because this is the best quality data that we could have access to. But moving forward, this data could be potentially affected by kind of virus or any type of things like that. So there will be a way for the blockchain economy to attack the data quality or the data layer. And this is actually a big problem.
Cool.
Guaranteeing the quality and the currency of data.
So you mostly focus on data side, right? Data collecting.
Well, I mean, for me, it's like, yeah, okay, there's a hype in crypto, there's a hype in AI, but I don't feel like people. I mean, it's a big risk, you know, trying to guarantee that people are getting paid for the data they're producing, and trying to guarantee that the AI is actually serving people and not evolving by himself and serving purposes because of AI and open data. I think we really need to focus on zero knowledge proof, on the fact that people can still exist in a way that they're producing value and they're getting paid for the value, and not big institution, big enterprise worldwide sucking the value of people to train those AI and getting more powerful. I think this is the biggest risk right now.
So in this point, I want to hear from James. How do you think of this one?
Yeah, so I mean, it's an interesting question.
Why James? Because of Google? Or?
Yeah, Google Cloud as a cloud service.
Yeah, I mean, well, obviously as a cloud business, our role is to make models available for businesses to build on them, to have their own products and services and specialize and so on and so forth. I think there's a very real reality that in order to train these models, you need a lot of compute. And you need that compute to be together and connected over InfiniBand or some type of high performance, high throughput interconnect. And so actually there are very few organizations in the world that have made that investment. And so it's natural that there will be a few people that can do it very, very well. So our focus is making sure that the models we're building and the models that other people are building are accessible to everybody, so everybody can get the value out of them. And that's one of the, I would say, positions Google Cloud has taken, is not just to make its own foundational models available through the platform, but also the foundational models provided by others as well.
Cool. So we have only 1 minute and a half. So you are also builders and founders and supporters and here are many potential founders and builders and here. So could you share a word for them for this area? How about start with Julian?
Yeah, I would say if you're looking to build something in AI and blockchain, try to focus on the product rather than the buzzwords. So trying to find and identify an existing problem where you can tackle this problem with AI or blockchain. It's, I mean, those two technology will be transforming society, but whether you can actually use both of them is very complex. I would say that at the moment we're seeing a lot of decks and presentation where people like to mention those names, but they're actually not solving any problems. So try really to focus on the product that's solving real world problems, and then you can see how this technology can help you achieve this mission. Yeah.
Cool. Olga?
Well, here's my call, guys. You want to build AI, better decentralized AI? Join us. Elon AI is a project, whatever you can do. You know better data sources, you know whom to follow, you know where to look for alpha. You can, submit data, you can validate the data, you can context, right? So putting the data into context, explaining to the model what this data means. We need all of people's, helping to build a decentralized AI. So if you're interested in this type of engagement, check it out, Elon AI, register, and we'll be happy to see you on part of the project.
Cool. How about Matt?
Yeah, I just echo what they said. Do it. I mean, I think there's some real opportunity there in both directions. If you're an AI person, I think there's very cool opportunities to build in Web3. And if you're a Web3 person, yeah, similarly, solving some problems in AI, it makes sense. There's enough of an overlap here, so there's a lot of opportunity. Go for it.
Last James?
My quick comment would be really focus on value differentiation, because a lot of the AI and Web3 use cases is just AI for any other problem, whether it's writing software or helping you query data through natural language. This is already possible. Web3 is not unique. So focus on something which is truly only relevant at the intersection of Web3 and AI, and then you will have an interesting value.
Cool. Not enough time for discuss all of things, but very insightful panel. So please give a big round of applause to them, and thanks a lot.
All right. Enjoy it? Yeah? Enjoy it? Yeah, you did. Okay, brilliant. Right, well, the next talk is going to go even deeper into the world of AI, and then the one after that even deeper and deeper. Whew. Next up, we have the wonderful, and I hope I don't ruin your name, I'm sorry, Momosuke Araki. On AI and blockchain and how that is going to equal the future of work. So please give a big round of applause.
Okay, well, hello everyone. It's great to be back here at NEARCON with all of you here in beautiful Lisbon. So my hope is that this talk will ease us into the theme of how AI and blockchain intersect. So a history of AI and blockchain can be told through the game of chess.